Why play with this weapon when a Harrow Curved Greatsword does better damage and costs less stamina and has a better running attack? Well, I like playing with this weapon. Here we have a group of 4 people. The red is a password summoned red. They try to bait me in by attacking him, but I know who these guys are, so there's no way I'm coming down there. I'm trying to harass them, so they come up here and I have some support from the Night Archers. I understand ganking. I understand it. I know you have your friends and you wanna play against some people and kick some ass and feel powerful. I understand that, but 4 people in and fighting an invader all alone, that's... isn't that boring? Isn't that just plain stupid? I don't know. Maybe they find it interesting, but anyway, I find it interesting too. I'm not complaining because this is a challenge. I hear a lot of invaders complaining about ganks and about how the game enables the host to gank and helps the host gank, but you know, we like it. We like it. We complain a lot, but we like it. We just as the host feels powerful when they kill an invader and like pointing down and memeing all over his body and spamming L1. Us invaders still like it when we spunk a gank, you know. So don't be that kind of people. Don't be that kind of person. Sorry. Don't be that kind of person that complains about ganks and about how the game enables the host and how the game helps the host. Of course it will help the host. At its core, it's a Dark Souls game. It wants the host to win. Dark Souls games want you to win. They put a challenge there for you, but they try to protect you at the same time, you know? If you learn the mechanics well and if you know when to time your rolls and when to attack the bosses and the various enemies that you meet, the game rewards you for playing good, and the game rewards the host for for ganking on people, because the purpose of this game is to make people who play it feel powerful, just as it makes invaders feel powerful when they do a gank spank. So I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed too by the ganks. I know, especially when they're very aggressive. The very aggressive ganks are the worst thing, because you cannot think, you cannot fight smart. You will just roll around, and that's yeah, that's not the game for me. If I just invade and die in 10 seconds, I see no fun there. Raven of Us recently uploaded a video about invasions and how they can be improved in this game. I agree with most of the points he makes. Not with all, but with most of the points. You know, each one of us has their own opinions, so you surely have some different thoughts on this kind of thing. So this isn't my response to Raven's video. Raven's video actually was a stimulus for me to make this rant. I don't believe that invasions at Pontiff are normal invasions. Invasions at Pontiff, in my opinion, are just a deathmatch, and actually it's a 90% luck at what gang you invade. If you invade some well-organized gang, well, you're screwed. But inorganic invasions is where I find the most fun. Hardcore Pontiff invaders argue that the Master League of the invasions is at Pontiff. That the most challenging invasions are at Pontiff, and part of that is true. Most of the guys you will fight there have a pretty good idea at what they're doing and are pretty skilled at PvP. I've been invading there for a year, and I have to say, it's fun, but after a while it gets a little stale. You know, after a while you get a bit bored of fighting the same people again and again, running around again and again and doing the same things that you did at the last invasion, trying to face for a backstab, trying to outspace them, trying to, I don't know, trying to play a fighting game. And Dark Souls isn't a fighting game for me. I'm not hating on Pontiff Invaders. On the contrary, I think they're the best at the PvP in this game. I honestly believe that the guys who invade at Pontiff are some of the best guys, some of the best players in this game, because they've seen everything. They know everything. They know how to fight a lot of enemies. They know how to bait a lot of enemies. I have nothing but respect for these players. But it turns out Pontiff isn't for me. But it's not for the reasons one might think, that I get annoyed by the ganks or that I'm losing all the time, because yeah, I'm losing all the time. Us invaders lose all the time. Don't get fooled by our montages or the videos that we show you where we fought really well and killed everybody in there. Most of the times we die. But yeah, it's not the reason I don't like so much invading at Pontiff. Because most of us invade there to feel what Saint Riot calls the Dark Souls high. You know, when you spanked a gang for the first time and you felt like a badass. Most of us invade there to get that feeling again. The reason I don't like invading there so much is because if I wanted to play a fighting game, I would play Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or Tekken. I don't know. And in my experience, invasions there are just a three-dimensional fighting game. And if you can prove me wrong, please prove me wrong. But I am pretty sure there's no other explanation behind invasions there. There's no other interpretation. My first experience with invasions in Dark Souls was when Kirk of Thorns invaded me in the depths in Dark Souls 1. And that feeling I got while I was trying to go through the level, and I realized that I thought he was another player at the time. When I realized that someone can invade me and kill me, that was awesome. That was the best thing ever. And that's what I try to do in my invasions. I try to give other players that thrill. I try to feel that thrill too. When I invade, I do my best for the host and the party to remember me, to remember this invasion, to have played the game, and after, I don't know, after we fought and I've either lost or won, I want them to remember the thrill of that invasion that I was in. At Gang City you can't have that kind of thrill. You have a different kind of thrill, but you can't have that kind of the thrill of the unknown, of going through the map and having someone invade you and actually being a challenge for you and trying to do their very best to beat you and your phantoms. That's why all the mind games and the plunging attacks and the ambushes and all the hiding spots, that's why I play that way. I want them to remember me. And whether I lose or die, if I've managed to make them feel something, feel a bit different about fighting, and I don't know, I don't want to sound mean, but fighting a normal invader that goes in there for the fight, which is not bad by the way, I just don't like doing it. If they feel different than fighting a a normal invader that goes in there, wrecks their shit, or gets their shit wrecked. If I make them feel different than that, then I know that I've succeeded. I know that I've passed on that feeling. And in my opinion, the best way to have the most fun in this game and the most fun in invasions is by using some mind games, some tactics, and giving them one hell of a fight before you go down. So that's why I do it. Now here, I try to bait them in by showing them that I have no Estes, even though I do. I have my low health, and I try to bait them in because there's the 3 NPCs behind me. I know they wouldn't come if I had full health. So I show them that I have low health. I show them that I don't have any Estes, and you know, the host feels a bit cocky over there. That's my point. That's my point, to make them feel cocky. Would this invasion be interesting if I didn't do that? Would this invasion be any thrilling if I didn't try to fool them and bait them in that way? Probably not. I would, if I went in there, I would probably die from the lightning blade on that Sellsword Twin Blades and from that exile. So I try to make the invasion interesting for me and for them. So I tried to make them feel cocky by having low health and trying to fool them that I have no Estes, so they think that I'm desperate right now, and they'll actually feel a bit comfortable about coming after me, like this guy does. I know I have to time my roll perfectly here, because if he hits me once with those twin blades, I'm dead. And I try to retreat to the mobs, and here they come. Now it's just a matter of turning the tables. And if I manage to separate them, I know that the host will be dead in less than a minute, because all he does is just, you know, press his favorite button. Now that they're separated, does he feel that cocky? I don't think so. Can you imagine how that host feels right now? 2 guys versus 4 guys. How the tables turned. Would the host in Gang City feel that? Probably after 10 minutes, when the invaders have killed the host's phantoms. But here I managed to do that, to pass on that feeling with just some simple mind game. Point down all you want. You fell for it. Now, a trick that works on passive hosts is misplacement. The thought behind this is to shoot them with an arrow, with a great arrow from afar, from one direction. Partially give away your position where you are, and then go and appear behind them. Now we have this host waiting for the phantom to arrive, and I'm just trying to annoy them with the arrows. I want the phantom to see me, to see where I'm shooting from, to have a general idea from where I'm shooting from. And I fire some more arrows here so they know that I'm right here. And now that they've come close to me, I heard a fireball. You don't see it. I hear the Chaosbet vestiges, and I go away. Now they expect me. They expect me to be somewhere over there, because I showed them that I had a great bow, and I didn't show them that I have a melee weapon. So I can appear behind the host and put some pressure on it. What this achieves is make them panic, and when they panic, it's easier for them to make mistakes. If they're not panicking, and if they're just passive, and you try to bait some attacks and make them make some mistakes, it's harder for you to achieve that. But if they're panicking, and if you destabilize them by attacking them from behind, it's easier. The same rule applies for when they're chasing you down. The tables turn very quickly in this game, and if you play your cards right, you can actually win an invasion even though it seems that you're losing and that you're on the run. You can exploit the party's aggressiveness by their stamina consumption. Here I see this blue is blocking a lot, so I try to get some hits in there to reduce his stamina, and his guard breaks. I'm lucky enough to recover from the stun quickly enough to riposte him, and he's dead. Now I see the white going for the jamming attack, and I go for the weapon art immediately for the hyper armor, so I don't get interrupted by the host, and I finish him quickly too. Anyway, we're 20 minutes in, and I still haven't told you what this video is about. It's not about showing some tactics. It's not about complaining about pontiff invasions. It's not about complaining about invasions in general or proposing a change. So here goes. In my opinion, it doesn't matter if invasions change. In my opinion, it doesn't change anything. We're all here for the same thing. We're junkies. We're going for the Dark Souls high that I mentioned earlier. We all invade for the same thing, and even if they change the mechanic, even if they change the way covenants work, or the way gangs work, or the benefits of being a host, or you know, the hurdles of being an invader, it doesn't change. We still do it for the same thing, for the thrill. I mean, look at that. I riposte him and then I press on the plate so that the arrows will come out and finish him. Can you do that in Pontiff? Can you do that in any other game? No. How did I feel that time? I felt great. How did he feel? I bet he felt great too. Not in the positive kind of way, but you know, here, see? Forced roll. I've talked about it in one of my previous videos. You can't do that in any other game. Invasions in this game and in any other Soulsborne game is what you make of them. In my opinion, it doesn't matter what they will change. We will still come back here for more. We will still invade to get that thrill, whether it is a three-dimensional fighting game or whether it is a more emotional thrill, like in my case. I don't have a problem with hosts running away after I've killed all the phantoms and I chase them down, because I invaded them. I'm the invader. It's not their game, it's not my game, but they're the hosts, so they can play however they want. I cannot force them in a direct way, but I can trick them to play the way I want to. And because I don't like complaining or bitching about hosts being passive and resummoning and rolling away, I prefer to play this way, by surprising them, by ambushing them. And I found that when you ambush them and when you surprise them, you have their attention, and then you have triggered their bloodlust. And most of the times this works in the favor of the invader. So in conclusion, what I'm trying to say is that how invasions work in this game is on the hands of the invader. You can make out of them whatever you want, and the way I do it is by trying to surprise the party and by implementing some mind games, and it has worked in my favor. And the joy that I get from organic invasions, I don't get them in any other way, like Pontiff or the Faron Woods. So Anyway, that was my 2 cents. I hope you liked my video. I hope I didn't trigger anyone. I hope I didn't make any enemies. I hope I didn't insult anyone. You play the game however you want. It's your game. You can play it however you want. So anyway, have fun, guys, and I will see you around soon in Lordran. Probably Sense Fortress.